Okay, so we'll hear what Shukdev Goswami is telling to Parikshit Maharaj about his question. How was Priyavrata Maharaj, who was a great devotee, how did he enter household life and how in household life he achieved perfection in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so next verse 515. Shukdev Goswami said, what you have said is correct. Whatever Parikshit Maharaj is saying, yes, it's correct. The glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is praised in eloquent transcendental verses by such exalted personalities as Brahma, are very pleasing to great devotees and liberated persons. The glorification of Supreme Lord, those who love the Supreme Lord, for them to hear about the glorification of the Supreme Lord is very pleasing. For those who love Him. One who is attached to the nectarian honey of the Lord's lotus feet and whose mind is always absorbed in His glories may sometimes be checked by some impediment, but he still never gives up the exalted position he has acquired. So, one who has tasted Krishna's sweetness by serving him, and they can, even though they may be deviated for the time being, but they cannot ultimately forget, and they will come back. That's what Shukdev Goswami is saying. Like sometimes it happens, somebody leaves devotional service for the time being, then he may be deviated, but then again he comes back because he can never forget that experience that he got in Krishna consciousness. So once you know this philosophy of Krishna consciousness, you can't really enjoy in this material world to the fullest degree because there will be something that will say to you from within that it's not right and things like that. And then after some time, even if you're being deviated, then you will come back. It's Krishna's mercy. He says, glorious is that master who, even if the servant wants to leave, will pull him by the hair and bring him back. Right?
Yeah.
So Krishna will pull the servant back to him. So Krishna will somehow make sure that. And glorious is that servant
Who never leaves his master.
who never leaves.
Glorious is that devotee who does not give up the shelter of his Lord, and glorious is the Lord who does not abandon his servant. And if the servant falls down and goes somewhere else, glorious is the master who captures him and brings him back by the hair.
So Krishna will bring us back. So he never forgets whatever service we have done for him. So even if we get sidetracked, Krishna, that happened with many
Krishnas.
Kala Krishna Das, Bharat Maharaj, and so many others, Prabhupada's disciples, who may have left Krishna consciousness and done something else, and then again they come back. There was this Prithuputra Swami, right? He had left the Krishna consciousness, and then later on, he, at the end of his life, he said, Prabhupada, you came, something. Or some devotees who lived and they, who was that? Who was on the beach?
Hansa Dutta, was it Hansa Dutta?
Yeah. And the devotees found him on the beach and they
And he got cancer also, right?
Yeah, so there is some story like that. So everywhere, every time we see some. Krishna will, there was one devotee in the plane he had left, and then he saw a devotee sitting next to him, and they offered him prasadam, right? Some devotee in Russia or something.
Mm. Wherever he was going, he was seeing devotees.
Devotees, yeah. So, maybe that way Krishna is bringing back. Of course, Krishna may allow for some time, but compared to like eternity, even one lifetime is nothing. So, and then again they come back to Krishna. And success is guaranteed. But of course, we should not think like that, I can just be casual about it and Krishna will bring me back. Not like that. We should try, but because they are conditioned souls, so still Krishna will bring you back. So that is it. Okay. So purport. So one who is attached to the nectarian honey of the Lord's lotus feet, his mind is always absorbed in his glories, and may sometimes be checked by some impediment. So for the time being, he will not be able to do because of either deviation or because of some health reason or something, but still never gives up the exalted position he is acquired. Okay, Sri Shukdev Goswami accepted both the king's propositions. That a person who is advanced in Krishna consciousness cannot embrace materialistic life again. So he agreed on both the points. So one point is that he made is that how can a person who is a devotee, how can he become materialistic? And that one who has embraced materialistic life cannot take up Krishna consciousness in any stage of his existence. As one who is materialistic, they cannot take up Krishna consciousness. So both the points he agreed. Although accepting both these statements, Shukdev Goswami qualified them by saying that a person who has once absorbed his mind in the glories of the Supreme Personality of God may sometimes be influenced by impediments, but he still does not give up his exalted devotional position. So Krishna is going to bring back like that. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, by knowing this Krishna conscious philosophy, you can't really enjoy anything, really, materially speaking. Even if you are enjoying, you feel in your heart that it's not the right thing. This is all illusion. Enjoyment is illusion. You can't really be in it. Because to enjoy, you have to forget everything. Krishna in the heart will remind. So then, according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, there are two kinds of impediments for devotional service. The first is an offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava. This is called Vaishnava Aparadh. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu warned his devotees not to commit Vaishnava Aparadh, which he described as mad elephant offense. When a mad elephant enters a beautiful garden, it destroys everything, leaving a barren field. Similarly, the power of Vaishnava Aparadh is so great that even an advanced devotee becomes almost devoid of his spiritual assets if he commits it. Since Krishna consciousness is eternal, it cannot be destroyed altogether. So this is the where it says, even if you do Vaishnava Aparadh, whatever you have done in Krishna consciousness, it cannot be destroyed altogether. But advancement may be checked for the time being. So it may be blocked. Thus, Vaishnava Aparadh is one kind of impediment. Sometimes we think that, well, this analogy says that the elephant will destroy, so all of our devotional credits are lost. But here Prabhupada qualifies by saying that it is eternal, it cannot be destroyed. But further advancement may not happen for the time until you rectify the Vaishnava Aparadh. Thus, Vaishnava Aparadh is one kind of impediment to devotional service. Sometimes, however, the Supreme Personality of God or its devotee desires to impede one's devotional service. Sometimes Krishna puts obstacles. For example, sometimes, however, the Supreme Personality of God or its devotee desires to impede one's devotional service. What is the example? For example, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyakashipu were formerly Jay and Vijay. the gatekeepers in Vaikuntha, but by the desire of the Lord, they became his enemies for 3 lives. Because Krishna had a desire to fight, so Jai and Vijay came down as the demons. Thus, the desire of the Lord is another kind of impediment. So they became demons for 3 lifetimes, and in this way, their maybe devotional service was impeded. Thus, the desire of the Lord, but they are actually serving the Lord. Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha are serving the Lord because they are fulfilling the desire of the Lord to fight. Thus, the desire of the Lord is another kind of impediment. But in both cases, the pure devotee, once advanced in Krishna consciousness, cannot be lost. Following the orders of his superiors, Swayambhu and Lord Priyavrata accepted family life. Narad Muni wanted him to be renounced, and Priyavrata's father, Swayambhu Manu, and his grandfather, Lord Brahma, who is the father of Lord Brahma is the father of Swayambhu Manu. They both came and said, Swayambhu Manu, there is nobody to take charge of the kingdom. Maybe Uttanapad had passed away, and Priyavrata Maharaj was there. And Priyavrata Maharaj was not interested in the kingdom, but for the welfare of the citizens, to guide them, there had to be a king. Swayambhu Manu was getting old, so they requested Priyavrata Maharaj to become the king. That's why he accepted family life. But this did not mean that he lost his position in devotional service. When he became Grihastha, that doesn't mean he forgot devotional service, because the material world is full of obstructions to advancement in Krishna consciousness. There may appear to be many impediments, yet Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, declares in Bhagavad 9:31, Panteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Once one is taken shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, he cannot be lost. Like Lord Ramchandra says, right, one time.
Sakradeva prapadnas tavasmiti jayajate.
Abhayam sarvadantas.
Tadami etadvatam.
So I will always grant him fearlessness, protect him. So at least one time we should say to the Lord with sincere heart,
I am yours.
I am yours, as I am surrendered to you. Krishna, please help me, please protect me. With a genuine heart, genuine feeling. So then Krishna will protect. Of course, prayer, as Shakti Radhika Madhavi was saying, at Madan Mohan Bhagavati's program, prayer should be also not, you are speaking of internal also. Prayer should be external, but internally also you feel like that. Right? So, but even if the internal is not, still we say this is the right thing to do. Krishna, I am not feeling like this, but I want to be like this. Somehow or other, pray. So, in this verse, the word Shivatamam is very significant. Shivatamam means the Shivatamam. Tamam means the superlative, means the most auspicious. The devotional path is so auspicious that a devotee cannot be lost under any circumstances. This is described in Srimad Bhagavad Gita by the Lord himself. Partha naiveha namukta vinashas tasya vidyate. My dear Arjuna, for a devotee there is no question of being lost, either in this life or in the next. Krishna will, because he is very kind, he also wants us to, connect with him. So he will find anything. He is always grateful for even little service that somebody rendered. Krishna is very grateful. He says, oh, you one time came down and you wanted to connect with me. You prayed to me, you bowed down to me, did something for me. So Krishna is always very kind. In Bhagavad Gita 6:43, the Lord clearly explains how this is so. How devotional service is not lost. How Krishna is explaining. Tatra tam buddhi sanyogam labhate purvadehikam. Labhate means obtained. Purvadehikam. Purva means in the past life, whatever one has done. Yatate cha tato bhuyaha. Bhuyaha means again. Again he endeavors. Sansiddho Guru Nandana. So let's see. Tatra tam. Thereupon that. Yuddhi Samyoga. Revival of consciousness. Yuddhi Sanyoga means again connecting. Yoga means to connect. Again, revival of that consciousness. Labhate Purva Dehikam from the previous body, from the previous life. He had done, but he had deviated. Yatate cha tatha bhuya. Again, he endeavors. Yatate. He endeavors again. Because Krishna reminds him. Sansiddho Guru Nandana. On taking us such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life. Bharat Maharaj is an example. And so many of you may have been devotees in your past life. And now again Krishna is reminding you again. He brought you to the association of devotees. Brought us to the association of devotees. Again we are trying. On taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life. Something attracts. Some devotees say, "Oh, this verse I already knew. I didn't have to make any effort to memorize this verse." Right? Some say, "Oh, this appears so familiar." Japa Maharaj also, when he saw the devotees with a tilak, Vaishnav tilak, and he suddenly something hit him, like as if something he remembered from his past. He never met the devotees before in this life, but so it seems very like feels at home when you take up devotional service. And he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life and again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success. O son of Guru. Because we carry our consciousness from one life to next. So at some point we wanted Krishna, then we got deviated, and again that consciousness has come into the next life, and again Krishna is also giving. This is another verse, by virtue of his previous divine consciousness. Not this verse, I think. Yeah, here. Purva abhyasena teneva yatehi avashopi saha. Avasho means without endeavor, it automatically becomes attracted because purva abhyasa. So even if we don't have previous credits, we can start in this life, and then we'll become attracted more and more. Devotional service, when we do, it brings about more devotional services. If you chant, it will bring about more chanting. So many of you started with 1 round, 2 rounds, then you started doing more rounds. So how did that come about? Because devotional service itself is the cause of more devotional service. So, Vidyasurapi yogasya shabda unnati vartate. By the virtue of divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles, even without seeking them. He likes this chanting, hearing, or automatically he becomes attracted to devotion. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. Or by association with devotees also, again, we can feel attracted. By the order of the Lord, a perfect devotee sometimes comes to this material world like an ordinary human being. Like there is this little anecdote about Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, I didn't want to go to the material world. Krishna said, no, you go. Prabhupada said, no, that is a very austere place, I don't want to go. Prabhupada said, no, you go, you write books. Go, I will help you. Sometimes some devotee was saying that I think Brahmananda or Bhavananda, right? So you can read that. So So sometimes Krishna sends his devotees, especially to this material world, to deliver other people. But then they behave like, Prabhupada's Leela. Bhavananda. Prabhupada said, I have so many palaces all over the world that I can stay in. Practically speaking, there is no difference between Goswamis and me in our lifestyle. So I'm like the Goswami. They stayed under a different tree every night. I stay in a different place every night. They wrote, I write. Originally, I did not want to come here. He was not talking about coming to America, but to this world. He said, Krishna asked, I want you to write those books. Come down and write those books. Prabhupada said to Krishna, but I don't want to go to the material world. The material world, nobody would like to come, right? Who would like to come here in the cycle of birth and death and such an austere place, just full of struggle and so many wars and all this? Who would like to come from a very nice place like the spiritual world? Although we all came, but nobody generally. Prabhupada is not coming because of his desire to enjoy. He's coming because Krishna wants him to come. Prabhupada said to Krishna, but I don't want to go to the material world. Krishna says, don't worry, I'll take care of everything. You write those books. That was the first and only time I ever heard or read that Prabhupada actually spoke about Krishna speaking to me and how he didn't want to go. When he spoke in that way, the atmosphere was like nothing I have ever experienced. Of course, now this is Bhavananda Guru is saying about this. So we heard Prabhupada say like that. So.
Mm-hmm. And it was Hayagriv actually. They found him at the
Yeah. It's a very interesting story about Hayagriva. I have somewhere. You can read this. How he came back to Krishna. He was under a boat or some shelter like that, something. The beach, and then devotees found him there. In Bombay or in Bombay or Okay.
And one more thing, I think somebody asked, and what were you in the spiritual world? So Prabhupada told them that if I tell them, you will faint. Right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, who is in the spirit? Yeah. Okay, so next verse I will finish this. Despite all kinds of impediments due to surrounding circumstances, he automatically perseveres in devotional service. Because of his previous practice, such a perfect devotee naturally becomes attached to devotional service, apparently without cause. Some attraction may be there, then there may be some strong attraction. For some devotees, it may be strong attraction because they have done long process. And for others, it may be weak attraction. But if we continue doing devotional service, then we will become pure. And in our pure state, we are irresistibly attracted to Krishna. We are irresistibly like in love with Krishna. Every jiva is in love with Krishna, actually in the pure state, in love with God. So as we clear our anarthas, then that spontaneous love becomes manifest. So somebody has cleaned his heart quite a bit, so they have more attraction for Krishna. Somebody has cleaned his heart a little bit, so there's less attraction. And if we chant Hare Krishna more, it's the way to clean the heart in this age, the main way to clean the heart, then automatically we'll feel. So it's an easy process, chanting Hare Krishna. It's very easy, no austerity, nothing. Just chant and hear Prabhupada said. And from that, consciousness will become clean. And of course, avoiding the offense, despite all kinds of impediments due to surrounding circumstances. He automatically perseveres in devotional service and gradually advances until he once again becomes perfect. Bilvamangal Thakur had been an advanced devotee in his previous life, but in his next life he became greatly fallen and was attached to a prostitute. And same thing with Ajamil. Of course, he was saved not because he chanted Namabhas. Suddenly, however, his entire behavior was changed by the words of the very prostitute who had so much attracted him, and he became a great devotee. I mean, he would have said like that, it would not have made any impact for ordinary person, but because Bilva Mangal Thakur was already a great devotee in his previous life, then it created an impact. In the lives of exalted devotees, there are many such instances, proving that once one has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, he cannot be lost. Pante pratijani anurshati. The devotional service, we should invest in devotional service as much as we can do. The fact is, however, that one becomes a devotee when he is completely free from all reactions to sinful life. And how we become freed from all reactions to sinful life? Also by devotional service only. Because past sins we have done, how we can become free from reactions to sin? Or in this life, how we can avoid sinful life is by devotional service. Because with devotional service we get strength and higher taste. That's the way one can become free. And then of course one's determination is there, obviously, and then you get higher taste and all this. As Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita 7:28, Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam tedvandamohan mukta jante mam tridavrataha. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated and who are freed from the duality of illusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. So many people were, when we came to Prabhupada, were doing all the sinful activities, right? Eating meat and all this, drugs and everything. So how they became so determined is by association with Prabhupada. So by doing devotional service under the guidance of the pure devotees, then one's determination increases. And they are engaged with service in service of Krishna with determination after so many years also. On the other hand, as Prahlad Maharaj said, Matirna Krishna Parato Svatova Mito Vipadyata Griha Vratanam. A person is too attached to materialistic life, home, family, wife, children, and so on, cannot develop Krishna consciousness. Cannot develop Krishna consciousness means like until they feel from inside that sometimes it can help also, because if it's very troublesome and you want to take shelter of God. But one who is too absorbed in this world cannot develop Krishna consciousness. That's what this verse is saying. Because they are not thinking of the bigger picture, God and everything. They just are wanting immediate enjoyment. So that's why. These apparent contradictions are resolved in the life of a devotee by the grace of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, a devotee is never bereft of his position in the path of liberation. This is described in these verses. Shiva Tamam Padavim. Okay, so even if the devotee has impediments, he never gives up, comes back to his exalted position that he had. And there's the example here is Bilva Mangal Thakur and others. Okay. Any other comments on this verse? Okay. So we'll go to the next verse.
I have heard that in the previous life, Bilva Mangal Thakur, he was a great devotee, yes. But he was attached to his wife. That was the only thing. And maybe his wife came as that prostitute. of course, his guru from his previous life entered his wife and spoke those words through her mouth, through the mouth of the prostitute. So the guru never leaves us. So that's why Prabhupada says, don't let me come back to get you.
Yeah, so one should finish business in this life as Prabhupada said. We should try to finish our business. We aim for the highest. But if we fall short, then maybe another one life, another two lives, three lives. I don't know how many, but yeah, we should try our best to come back to God in this life. So that's the thing. And like if you in an exam, if you want to do very well, then you may not get the highest score, but you will still get good marks. Good marks. You may not get full 100%, but if you are trying for 100%, you may get 80%. So we should aim for high, like that is chasing the rhino with the swan. So we should try for, and means aim for highest means we should do as much as we can in devotional service before time is going to run out for everybody. So it's like in the sprint, running. They try their best because it's 100 meters, whatever, 400 meters. So they run the fastest. Because our life is very short, so whatever we can do.
Yeah, and we should not have any attachments. I mean, Bharat Maharaj's story also, how he left his kingdom, his wife, his children, everything, and got attached to a deer. Such insignificant, we may be attached to some insignificant thing for which we have to come back again. So there is no one who is better than Krishna. And we have to be convinced about that. No one who can love us more than Krishna.
Yeah, like they say you can show affection, but don't get attached. Means we have to be kind with everyone. We have to show our love to everybody. But and that love should be on the spiritual platform also. It should not be based on the sense gratificatory platform, bodily sense gratification. Here it was more not for sense gratification, but it was like an attachment on an emotional platform. He was attached to this deer. He was thinking that, okay, without me, how will the deer survive? That was his main concern. He was feeling he will take care of the deer. And so much so that when he was chanting or whatever he was doing, meditating at that time, he was thinking, where is the deer? Is the deer come back? Is the deer? So he got like in his sadhana, he was thinking about the deer instead of thinking about Krishna. And then when he was dying also, he was thinking, who will take care of the deer? What will happen to the deer? So was the deer sitting next to him? Or like looking at him? Or had the deer?
It had gone somewhere. And he was finding it in the forest.
Yeah. He had not come back, so it was an anxiety maybe. So like that,
So
like we say that man was saying about his business.
you all are here, then who's at the shop?
Yeah, who is at the shop? When the man was dying, he saw all his relatives and he was thinking, if everybody is here, who is at the shop taking care of the business? Or the last thoughts were about business. Take care of the business and then come back, do the business again. Like that. So
We have to become conscious of our thoughts and see where it is going. Is it we are thinking of Krishna or something else? And that something is like the deer distracting us, and we don't know. At the point of our death, those thoughts can come to us, and then again we have to take birth.
correct. So we have to, that's why Prabhupada says you have to be conscious and then be Krishna conscious of us. We have to, when we are chanting, Are you chanting? I'm like hearing. I'm with Krishna. Thinking of Krishna. Krishna's holy name I'm hearing. Or is my mind going somewhere else? And where is this chanting going to go? So like that. At least first you should start with devotional service. Whenever we are doing that, we do consciously. Then we extend it to more outside. Like we are not chanting also. We are thinking. And if you are always chanting, that's why they said Kirtaniya Sadhakari, chanting and chanting nicely. Like Mahatma Prabhu was saying, I never chanting means good chanting. That's all. Whenever I chant my rounds, I chant good rounds. That's all. So it becomes like a habit. You were saying that I never chant like bad rounds. So whenever you chant good. So it's a practice. So whenever you chant next time, then you chant. Of course, now we are told to chant always, and then we may be doing so many other activities and chanting, so we will not be completely focused. But still, we should chant it. But at least our rounds we should chant with attention. The question came up right in this retreat. We are always supposed to chant. Then how we can chant attentively all the time? Because we may be doing cleaning or other things, and we are chanting. So. Yeah. But yeah, so at least for 2 hours we focus, we take sannyas, right? And we just be with Krishna. So then from that some taste will come, then you can think about more often. Baby steps gives rise to like that. Then all the time it will come, it will happen one day.
Another thing I wanted to say was it was mentioned about the Vaishnava Prath in the purport. Mad elephant wins, but however, Krishna conscious advancement may be checked for the time being, but then it comes back. It's like somebody gave the example is like you have money in the bank account, but you lost the password to the bank account. Then you cannot access it. Means that you don't feel the taste in bhakti. When you commit Vaishnava Pradha, then your taste goes down. So then for temporary, you will stop doing bhakti, chanting and all. But the money is there in your bank account. But when you, like, Devananda Pandit, like that, we have examples when we serve Vaishnavas or we beg, forgiveness from the Vaishnavas. Then again, that recollection happens and then again, we start to feel that taste.
Again, you get the password.
Yeah, correct. But whatever credits we have accumulated in our bhakti account, they stay there eternally forever.
Yeah, that's what Prabhupada said. That's what it says. Yeah, it's like a hold on your account, right? Sometimes when I use my credit card, then if they find something suspicious, they put a hold on your account until you can't use it anymore. Until you call them and then they say, no, yeah, it was a valid transaction or something like that. Then again you can use your. So many different analogies can be, yeah.
Yeah, so the taste in bhakti is what is driving us. We are feeling bliss, in happiness in doing this bhakti.
Taste and intellectually understanding also helps, right? That is one is taste for great souls. Taste is very important for sadhakas who don't have that much taste. Then for them also intellectually understanding that this is something that is going to give me eternal benefit. I should invest in it. That also, right? And then of course, yeah, ultimately taste has to come. Stay. Correct. Okay. Next verse we'll read. Anything else?
Hare Krishna. I just came across with the verse and I searched that verse. The 10th canto is talking about that. Like you're talking about that, sometimes devotees fall down, but Krishna still protect them. So that verse is, this is a verse, is saying that if devotee is completely in love,
with you
What number is that?
sometimes
Number.
fall from the path of devotion, they do not fall like the non-devotees, for you still protect them. Thus, they fearlessly traverse the heads of their opponent and continue to progress in devotional service. I read this a few days back, this verse, and it says that, like in the example of, like, when you're talking about the Bharat Maharaj, Chitraketu, Indradyumna Maharaj, that their circumstantially they fell down, but it was protected, they're still protected. Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, right? Kaunteya prati jani na me bhaktya pranashyati. So yeah, and those who worship, and I mean devotional service, whatever one do, it will protect it, and it will not never lost. So yeah, this verse reminds me when you are reading that if one falls down from it, one ultimately saved, and either one cannot protect it from one's same life, but the whatever the devotional service one can, it will already save in their account. Either we'll take the birth in a there's a verse, right? So chinam shrimatam gehe yoga bhrashta vijayate. So whatever the form devotional service is still there, they will get a good birth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This
Yeah.
is
So this Prabhupada also told that story, right? What is it about the beggar and the orphan child and the prince, right? If the prince falls sick, is kind of the suffering of an orphan. When you were reading that verse, I was reminded of this. The suffering of an orphan and the sufferings of the beloved child of a king are not the one and the same. So even if they fall down devotees, it's not the same as verse you were reading. What is the verse number that you were reading? It's 10 Canto.
this
Yes,
is
10 to
10 to
10 to
33.
33.
10 to 30.
33. 3. 33.
10 to 33, okay. So let's read that. So that's Oh Madhava Supreme Lord. Devotees completely in love with you sometimes fall from do not fall like non-devotees. For you still protect them because they fearlessly traverse the heads of their opponents and continue to progress.
That's same as apichet suduracharo bhajane neha bhikamanashamste.
Yeah. So like Bharat Maharaj, but still Bharat Maharaj was protected. He was given the memory, right? In his next life, and again he became attractive. So then the Krishna said, the sufferings of an orphan and the sufferings of a, I think he writes in the, here Prabhupada says this is in the,
But in reality, nobody is an orphan. I mean, Krishna is a father of everyone.
no, orphan means here somebody who is not doing devotional service. Somebody who is not.
Yeah, but somebody who's not doing devotional service, but everybody is a devotee actually. But somehow they forget Krishna. But Krishna never leaves them. Whether it's an atheist person also. He's a child of Krishna. We say that Krishna is ever forgiving, ever loving, and ever waiting, ever willing.
So they are also punished in some other way like that, so that they will also come closer to Krishna. Of course, this material world for everybody is mercy of the Lord, right? Everything is mercy of the Lord. You bring them. Like in the 16th chapter also, Krishna says, I demons I cast them into envious species of life. And some Prabhupada says, how can this be mercy? Well, but by doing that, and if they are killed by Krishna, then there is also mercy.
Yeah, in some lifetime we may be hardcore atheists, but now somehow by some mercy of some devotees we have become little devotee.
Yeah, we should not think proud, right? But I am just saying that this is what Prabhupada is saying. A devotee of the Lord automatically becomes uninterested in the enchantment. This is a, which verse is this? No, it's a different verse. It's in the first chapter. It says, my dear Vyasa, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes fall down, somehow or other, he certainly does not undergo material existence like others, fruity workers, etc. Because a person who has once relished the taste of the lotus feet of God can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again. The devotee of the Lord automatically becomes uninterested in the enchantment of material So this Rasagraha, one is tasted the sweetness of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. There are certainly many instances where devotees of the Lord have fallen back into uncongenial association, just like fruity workers who are always prone to degradation. But even though he falls down, a devotee is never to be considered the same as a fallen karmi. Karmi suffers the result of his own fruitive reactions. It is also mercy that suffers by Krishna, whereas a devotee is reformed by chastisement directed by the Lord himself. So of course both are chastised, karmi and directed by the Lord himself. The sufferings of an orphan and the sufferings of a beloved child of a king are not one and the same. An orphan is really poor because he has no one to take care of him. But a beloved son of a rich man, although he appears to be on the same level as the orphan, is always under the vigilance of his capable father. Like Krishna said, I am equal to everybody. Samas sarveshu bhuteshu namastashu stina priya. But he says, ye to bhajanti mam bhaktya. So everybody has the opportunity to chant Hare Krishna. An orphan is really poor because he has no one to take care of him. But beloved son of a rich man, although he appears to be in the same level, is always under the vigilance of his keeper. The devotee of the Lord, due to wrong association, sometimes imitates the fruitive workers. Fruitive workers want to lord it over the material world. Similarly, a neophyte devotee foolishly thinks of accumulating some material power in exchange for devotional service. Such foolish devotees are sometimes put into difficulty by the Lord himself. With a special favor, he may remove all material paraphernalia. By such action, the bewildered devotee is forsaken by all. He is referring to the Yasya Hamadukuna. So, he wants Krishna, but he will still become a little foolish. He wants other things. So then Krishna, as a special favor, he may act in such a way that the devotee comes into difficult situation, which is also the mercy. By such action, the bewildered devotee is forsaken by all friends and relatives. He comes to his senses again by the mercy of the Lord and set right to experience devotional service. So that suffering is directly given by Krishna. For the karmi, the suffering is also given by Krishna, but through the agents of the Lord according to his karma. For the, I think Mamogila Prabhu was saying one time, Krishna takes the karma of the devotee, and then if he deviates, then he gives something, or even if there is no karma, he still may give suffering to bring the devotee back on track. So, otherwise he will get carried away, right? That's also there. If he gets carried away, then it's a loss for him.
The suffering, if it brings one closer to Krishna, then that's like good. But for a materialist, maybe some people suffer and they go down, they take to more sinful activities, commit suicide or depression. That is something that takes them away further into. So for a devotee, their suffering brings them closer to Krishna. That's what Krishna wants.
Yeah, correct. And Krishna is not, he wants to help everybody. So, but it's like...
Yeah, because they don't feel, so two people may be going through the same suffering. If one knows about Krishna, then he can take shelter of Krishna and find solace and peace even in that suffering. For one who does not know, he has nothing to take shelter of. And he will suffer much more. Although Krishna is there for both of them, one does not have knowledge, but then somehow if they get connected to the devotees, or Krishna sends the devotees in their lives, then things will change.
Yeah, like somebody was going to do suicide and they gave a book. Yeah.
And say that devotees are more merciful than Krishna, although Krishna may be angry at somebody, but devotees try to give Krishna to everybody.
Yes, so... Okay, so we go to the next verse. What's the time? 8:22. Yeah, we read one verse and then here's some class. Shukdev Goswami continued, My dear king, Prince Priyavrata was a great devotee. because he sought the lotus feet of Narada, the spiritual master, and thus achieved the highest perfection in transcendental knowledge. With advanced knowledge, he was always engaged in discussing spiritual subjects and did not divert his attention to anything else. Narad
We
Muni
took
had,
verse 7.
we missed on verse 6, verse 6.
Oh, okay.
We didn't read this verse, did we?
No. Yeah.
With advanced knowledge, he was always engaged in discussing spiritual subjects and did not divert his attention to anything else. So, Priyavrata was very dedicated. The prince's father then asked him to take charge of ruling the world. So, Swayambhuva Manu said, hey, we should rule the world. He tried to convince Priyavrata that this was his duty as indicated in the revealed scriptures. So you are my son, you are Kshatriya, you are supposed to rule. Prince Priyavrata, however, was continuously practicing Bhakti Yoga by constantly remembering the Supreme Personality of God, thus engaging all his senses in the service of the Lord. Therefore, although the order of his father could not be rejected, the prince did not welcome it. So he was like, he said, I want to do direct Bhakti Yoga, I'm just... And father is saying, no, you should rule the world, you should take charge of the kingdom. And he was having some etiquette. He directly did not say, no, father, I cannot do it, but he did not like it. Thus he very conscientiously raised the question of whether he might be diverted from devotional service by accepting the responsibility of ruling over the world. So he said, if I rule this kingdom, will I be diverted from remembering the Supreme Personality of God constantly? So he raised that question. That's how he asked. Narad Muni has the tendency to make everybody renounced. The Bhagavatam, everywhere you see like that. So, Sri Narottam Das Thakur has sung, Chhadiya Vaishnav Seva Nistar Payeche Keva. Without serving the lotus feet of a pure Vaishnava or spiritual master, no one has ever attained perfect liberation from material bondage. Prince Priyavrata regularly served the lotus feet of Narad. And thus, the prince perfectly understood transcendental subjects in truth. So, by serving the great devotees, then we can understand all the knowledge about Krishna consciousness. The word Satatvaha means that Priyavrata knew all the facts about the spirit soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Satatvaha, Tatvaha means the truth. So he was Sa means with together. He understood everything by serving, by hearing from Narad Muni. He could understand everything and he became renounced. And the relationship between the spirit soul and the Supreme Personality of God. And that he also knew all about this material world and the relationship of the spirit soul and the Supreme Lord in the material world. So he knew everything about why he was there in the material world, who is the Supreme Lord, who is he, what is the relationship. All the why questions he could answer. And sometimes we say Krishna consciousness explains everything. It answers all questions. Thus the prince decided to engage himself only in rendering service to the Lord. So he decided, I will surrender to Krishna. That's it. When Priyavrata's father Swayambhuva Manu requested him to accept the responsibility of ruling over the world, he did not welcome the suggestion. This is the symptom of a great liberated devotee. Even though engaged in worldly affairs, he does not take pleasure in them, but remains always absorbed in the Lord's service. He said, now you rule the kingdom. He said, no, I do not like it. While thus serving the Lord, he deals externally with worldly affairs without being affected. He does his duties, whatever he has to do, but he is not affected. For example, although he has no attraction for his children, he cares for them and educates them to become devotees. Sometimes you may think, well, if he has no attraction, how can he care for them? No, there is one way of caring, and that caring can also be on the spiritual platform. And of course, you take care of them if they are sick and things like that. But he educates them to become devotees. That is the main thing. The parents should educate their children to become devotees. Similarly, he speaks to his wife with affectionate words, but is not attached to her. By rendering devotional service, a devotee acquires all the good qualities of the Supreme Lord. Lord Krishna had 16,000 wives, all of them very beautiful. Although he dealt with each of them as a beloved husband, he was not attracted or attached to any of them. Maybe sound a little, isn't Krishna attracted to his devotees? And why Prabhupada is writing like that? He was attached to, like Prabhupada says sometimes, like a hen-pecked husband. Satyabhama said, I want the parijat flower. But internally, maybe Krishna is attached to his pure, they are all pure devotees, Satyabhama and Rukmini. Prabhupada writes here, in the same way, although devotee may enter a family life and act very affectionately towards his wife and children, he is never attached to these activities. This verse states that by serving the lotus feet of the spiritual master, Prince Priyavrata very soon attained the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness. This is the only way to advance in spiritual life as stated in Vedas. Yasya deve parabhakti yatha deve tatha guru tasya te kathitha yatha prakashante maha. If one has unflinching faith in the Supreme Lord and the spiritual master, the essence of all Vedic knowledge is revealed to him. Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.23. So if we take the direction, service is of two types. Service is Vapu and Vani. So we take the directions from the pure devotees. Then your spiritual life, everything will be revealed by doing service. Of course, taking instructions. The devotee always thinks of the Lord continuously. While chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, the words Krishna and Hare immediately remind him of all the Lord's activities. Since his entire life is engaged in the service of the Lord, the devotee cannot forget the Lord at any time. Just as an ordinary man always engages his mind in material activities, so devotee always engages his mind in spiritual activities. So we should be serving the Lord all the time, uninterruptedly. So we cannot forget the Lord. That's basically the highest instruction. Prabhupada said we have all these activities in the temple from the morning till evening and outside. Morning program, then those who are staying in the temple, they cook for the DP, or those who are going outside. In the Prabhupada's time, they used to go out, do harinams, do book distribution, come back. Then their evening program. Then they would read Krishna books, take some prasadam, again go for Mangala morning, again morning program, then do Sankirtan, then come back, or do a temple service and then come back, and like that. The sandwich program is said like that. Morning, evening, attending Bhagavatam class in the morning, evening Bhagavad Gita class, and the daytime doing Sankirtan, distributing, preaching. Or only some devotees stayed in the temple. Most devotees used to go out, and so like that, always engaged in. Then life will go fast, and then death will come, and then we will wake up in the spiritual world. So we should always be engaged in Krishna's spiritual activities. Shravanam Kirtanam. Always should go out chanting, hearing. This is called Brahma Shatra, for meditating upon the Supreme Lord always. Because if you do throughout your life, then you will remember also Krishna by giving the body. Prince Priyavrata was perfectly initiated into this practice by Sri Narada. He was a Narada Muni and made him. Always remember Krishna, and you are in good training.
So as a purport is saying, we should have affection, but we should not have attachment. And that happens that you try to serve the other family members and thinking that they are Krishna's. So if I love Krishna, I would love anybody who belongs to Krishna. Not for sense gratification. So attachment is what can they give to me for my happiness. Also, while serving others, we should be thinking, I'm doing this for Krishna's pleasure. Yat karoshi yadashnasi. This is for Krishna's pleasure. Then you will be affectionate to everybody, but you will not be attached to them.
If you love Krishna, then you love everyone. Because everybody, Krishna loves everybody. Because A loves B and B loves C, then A automatically loves C. Krishna loves everybody, all the jivas. So the devotee also who loves Krishna also loves all the Vidya Vinaya Sampanna.
Yeah, yeah, and for the devotee, there is no difference between family members and outside of family members. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The whole world is my family.
And not only in human life, but the animals, they are also my family only. Because they are also jivas.
Did
Okay,
he
so
said that like that verse is there, Prasangam Ajaram Pashan Atmana Kaviyo Vidu. This is that there is a word in the translation is attachment, right? Attachment with the devotees, attachment.
the pure devotees, yes.
Yeah, there's no word like affection over there, right? So
Yeah,
if we
that
say that the attachment is a cause of our bondage, so attachment with anything may be a cause of bondage, right?
attachment can be on the spiritual platform, not on
Yeah.
the bodily platform. So that's the main thing. Whatever these are words, but yeah, it is because so why it gives liberation attachment because you want to please them. Right? If you're attached to somebody, if I'm attached to my wife, then I will do things which she likes me to do. So or attached to my child, right? Then I will do things that the child likes me, wants me, which will make the child happy. So if you are attached to Srila Prabhupada, then you would want to do things that will please Srila Prabhupada or whoever. So that pleases, what pleases Srila Prabhupada is that you should love Krishna.
And even if we think of Srila Prabhupada at the time of death, because we are attached to him, we'll go at the same place that he is. But that's for a pure devotee, not for ordinary person.
Correct. So
So, so I mean, attachment should be with the pure devotees only, right? I mean, not everybody is a pure devotee, right? So
correct.
I was thinking that in this way, that we can distinguish, right? Differentiate that, like, let's say in somebody's family, um, everybody is devotee, right? The husband, wife. So if husband attached with wife, and wife attached with husband. I mean, in Bhagavatam, everywhere it says that about wife's attachment, not about talking about sorry, husband's attachment with woman, and they say that they degraded. But if they say if wife is devotee or husband is attached, or maybe the children, kids are devotees, if they are attached. So does that wrong thing? It applies there also, right? It applies only for the materialistic point of attachment, right? It's not that devotees.
Yeah, I think
And but who will know that that person is, let's say someone is doing sadhana and devotee, and you are attached with that, and that person may or may not be a pure devotee. Um, so where your attachment leads to.
so. You should be more attached to what they are saying and what their instructions are. That is actually the meaning of attachment. Like so many disciples of Prabhupada they were attached, but they had hardly any interaction with Prabhupada. But because they are attached, even after his departure, they are still, following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. And they are still, they may not have had so much physical association with Prabhupada, but because they know this will please Prabhupada, so they are doing things. That is the real thing. Prabhupada also said, I met my spiritual master only 4 or 5 times, but took his instruction very seriously. So the instruction is the more important thing. and in this way you want to please the person. But that instruction is to serve Krishna. That instruction is to serve Krishna.
Yeah, if
Like we have in
associ-
the Gurvashtakam, right? Yeah, go ahead.
no, if association with someone makes you think of Krishna more, makes you serve Krishna more, then that is a good association. Otherwise, if you're not thinking of Krishna, you're thinking of the other person, then that's kind of attachment. So your consciousness determines whether that's attachment, affection, or whatever. You should be thinking of Krishna more and serving Krishna more.
Yeah, and you can appreciate how this other person is serving Krishna, like Srila Prabhupada, like how he was so, we talk about him, like how he was so determined to serve Krishna that he was distributing his Back to Godhead magazine in the heat of Delhi, and so from their example, we can derive inspiration. So, like, somebody wants to, I think Shiva Krishna has his. Okay. So, Siddhi, you want to say anything?
No problem.
Nothing is.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. So we'll just hear something. Krishna Lila. There's a class. I don't know if you heard this class by Amrinder. We'll hear that Keshav Maharaj class also. Let's see. I was reading this yesterday.
वात्सल्य को कैसे छुड़ाए अब